The third thing that God will put you through, that is, it happens every single time. He will see, are you a servant in your heart, or is it all a bunch of baloney? Do you really mean it when you say, I'm here to serve? Oh, he'll test you all right. Here to serve doesn't mean, well, let me just carry your briefcase and your suit and look good behind you. To serve means literally serve. And when you serve, Andrew, you have to give up a whole lot of things. You got to give up friends. You got to give up time for yourself. You have to give up time with your mom and dad, because the Bible says when men were called, they didn't even have a chance to go home and say bye. The Lord calls a man, and the guy had his father die. Now you think in the natural, come on, please, let the guy go bury his father. What does Jesus say? Let the dead bury the dead. You just follow me. The call of God is more important than your father's funeral service. I preached the same night I buried my dad. We buried my father September of '82. I was preaching for Bill Swat that night in Columbus, Ohio. I buried my father in the morning in Toronto and was preaching that night for Bill Swat. And Bill Swat said to me, how can you do it? I said, wait a minute, how can I do it? I said, the call of God is on my life. It doesn't matter if my father is dead. And he began crying. He said, I've never seen a preacher like you. I said, Bill, come on, quit it. I'm here to preach. I'm here because God called me. My father is in heaven. Thank God. He'd want me to be preaching, not crying. And the man came to the Lord and said, let me go bury my father. And the Lord gets angry at him. Or Elisha says to Elijah, let me go say bye to my family. What have I got to do with you, he says. In other words, don't bother me with that. Because you see, the call of God means you forsake all. Everything must be put behind. Paul the apostle made an amazing statement, Andrew. And it was one of the most painful cries in the Bible. All men have forsaken me, he said. Boy, that's tear your heart if you really look at it. Because he's in prison with no support. And then he makes this statement. He said, in Philippians, he said, no man like Timothy is like-minded. That word like-minded is like-souled. In other words, he and I have the same soul. Timothy was his only strength in times of difficulty. You're a Timothy to Bonke. Sometimes people walk away from you when you're going through a problem. And this is the time they got to have someone right there. So God will put you through the servant's test and test your limit. The man of God will pull on every ounce of strength in you to stay strong in such times. So I'm in the car in Cyprus. I'm on the cell phone when I hear I'm under investigation by the U.S. Senate. The next day I have a miracle service. I'm thinking, my God, how can I minister tomorrow with this news? Thank God my brother Henry was right there. You know what Henry did? He grabbed my hand like this. He said, Benny, I'm with you. Whew. You talk about strength. All you need is that guy to say, I'm here. Yeah. It's instant strength. And then he looked at me, he said, tomorrow will be a glorious service. Don't let these things bother you. You got to hear it from somebody. What if Henry wasn't there? What if my own brother didn't grab my hand to say, hold on, we're not going to fail with this one. Brother, it gives you energy. It gives you strength. God will test that in you. That's what a servant is supposed to do. God is going to test your servant's ability.